Legislative meeting, Board of Commissioners. Today is Tuesday, November the 18th. The year is 2025. The time is 6 o'clock. Will you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Commissioner Ackery?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Ackery?
Here.
Commissioner Downing?
Here.
Commissioner Smith? Commissioner Tebby?
Here.
Mayor Washington?
Here.
We have our quorum and are duly qualified to conduct business.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Just without objection, would like to allow or to add to the agenda under regular an agreement for professional services, VS Engineering, Brent Spence Bridge, the document qualifying purchase exception form. Without objection, we'll put that on regular. It's on regular. When we get to the regular, Elizabeth, you can approach and fill us in, and then the commission can decide the next course of business. May I have a motion to dispense with the reading and approve the minutes from October 28, 2025?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Commissioner Ackery.
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Tebby. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. I'll entertain a motion to dispense with the reading and approve the minutes from November the 4th, 2025.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Tebby.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Ackery. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Under public comments, we have one person that signed up, Mr. Hull. Just a reminder, Mr. Hull, please state your address, and you'll have 3 minutes to address the City Commission.
My name is Tom Hull. I live at 901 Baker Street. I'm here once again to talk about a civilian advisory group for the city of Covington. I want to start with, these are not things that are limited to working with the police. I think it's what we need right now, but they can be used for any number of things. The EPA, for example, has been extremely successful working with civilian advisory groups to develop programs that have helped neighborhoods across the country. I guess we'll start with what it's not. A civilian advisory group, in my mind, for the city of Covington would not be a review board. I don't think civilians are qualified to review police and whether or not they're actually abiding by their own policies, because they don't have access to all of them. What a civilian advisory group can do is examine a specific issue or set of issues given a narrow mandate allowing them to be effective, and then use that to determine a long-term project that is for the benefit of a city organization, in this case the police, and also for the community itself. Just as it would be ridiculous to expect the civilians to be able to adequately review the police, it is ridiculous to expect the police or any government group to be able to adequately represent the needs of the civilians without requesting their input. In this case, you would want members chosen with their abilities to contribute to a solution in mind and qualifications determined based on that, and members rotated in and out as the mandate changes. That's an important thing to think about. If it's an effective group, it will solve its problem and later need to be reconstituted with a new mandate to work on other things that are a benefit to the city and the community. Things that they can work on are things like research, brainstorming, polling the citizens, and requesting documents for review, all of which can help the police without requiring police resources, freeing them up for use on more important projects, i.e. community policing initiatives. They should work with city officials and police leaderships and consultants to represent the community at large and insist in developing and provide informed recommendations on policies and practices in a way that does not present legal challenges for the city. That's where you want your consultants, your legal representation from the city, and your representation from the police department. Lastly, I just want to leave an example. I'll hopefully have more to say on it in 2 weeks or whenever anyone wants to reach out to me and talk to me. But there is La Plata County in Colorado that had a fantastic result from their civilian advisory group. Their police chief was very, very happy with it and said they got done in a short amount of time what would have otherwise taken years by working with a group like this. Basically what I'm saying here is I would like to see the city approve the creation of such a group, followed by defining its first mandate, choosing the people, hopefully the right people who can actually get whatever the problem that gets identified is solved, and then determining resources.
Thank you,
and
Mr. Hall.
timelines.
Looking at the public comments, there's no one else that signed up, so we'll close that portion of the agenda. Now, presentations. Under presentations, there's been a request to move the community liaison role to 12/3/2025 for the legislative meeting. Without objection, if the clerk will add that to that agenda. The next item up for discussion is the Small Business Incentive Program. Director West.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. I want to start off first by thanking Commissioner Downing. He requested the review of our Small Business Incentive Program. And sometimes when elected officials request that staff review government programs, there's a panic that sets in among the staff. We don't have time to do that, or we're terrified of what the results might be. This was actually a blessing for us. And I wouldn't even say a blessing in disguise. I think those of us who work with this program on the daily basis knew it was producing good results. But Commissioner, your request for us to review it allowed us to put it into a format where we're telling an amazing story here in Covington. I want to first acknowledge Patrick Duffy. He's back there. He's our Business Retention and Expansion Manager. He manages the Small Business Incentive Program for us, but the entire team is really involved. The Assistant Director, our Historic Preservationist, our Business Attraction Manager, everyone, we're all involved in this program. And I will also tell you that a lot of the data that was put together for the report that was in your packets for tonight, as well as what you'll see on the screen here, was put together by Adabacola Adarante, who is our intern. She does some amazing work. So the report talks about all the ways that we support small businesses in Covington. But since the request was specifically for the 3 programs in our Small Business Incentive Program, that's what I want to focus on in the presentation tonight. This program was established in 2017. We've supported 177 businesses and property owners throughout the city since that time. And it didn't take long, because within 4 years we received international recognition for the quality of this program. In fact, it was also cited last year by Money Magazine when they named Covington one of the best places to live. One of the reasons for that was our support of small business. So now we can take a look at the 3 different components that make up that Small Business Incentive Program. With regard to the facade incentives, we've invested just over $500,000 of public money, and the private sector has come back and invested $4.5 million. There were 35 vacant buildings that got activated through this, and 33 of those now have new tenants in them. And that's a success rate of 94%. So I think it's fair to say our facade program is working. Next up is our rent subsidies. And we've awarded those to 78 businesses. This is not counting COVID. There were a lot more handed out during COVID, but that was kind of a separate program. But of our regular program, 69 of those 78 businesses are still open. 9 of them closed. 9 of them did move to somewhere else. But that's also an incredible success rate. And if you go down and dig down a little bit, because I know it's been a hot topic with restaurants, of those 69, 19 of them were restaurants. Only 4 of those closed. 2 of them actually merged into other businesses. Now, what's really interesting about that rent subsidy is we always ask them to tell us how many jobs they're going to be creating. When we went back and looked at all of those projections, it added up to almost 400. But the actual results, when we went back and looked at it, is there were actually 10% more jobs created than they estimated. Usually that goes in the other direction on these applications. And then third, we started in 2022 with a historic electric sign program to help brighten up the nightlife and add more excitement to our streetscape at night. So far, we've done 5 of those, and they've been completed. The 6th one is on its way, so you'll be hearing about that very soon. We're very excited about that. And again, it's a pretty good return here. We have a higher proportion of public funds that we put into that part of the program. Now, when you start to look at how do you measure success and what does this mean to businesses who might be looking to come to Covington, one of the things that a lot of people will look at is what is the failure rate? And what you see in the red there is the national average on failure rates. On the left of the screen is small businesses in general, and you can see there we're really outperforming the nation there. And restaurants, 17% usually fail within the first year, 50% within 5 years. Our rates are like 9% and 32%. So again, we're outperforming the nation. If you don't like looking at the cup half empty and you'd rather look at it half full, the blue there shows our actual success rates versus the failure rates of businesses. As I said, we're outperforming the nation, and we're doing that on a lot of fronts. When you look at our small business program, the dollars that we use to create one job in Covington is about $1,000. The national average is $50,000 to create one job. During COVID, I mentioned before, we had a special program to assist businesses, specifically customer-facing businesses, and we saw 0 restaurant closures during COVID, which was pretty amazing because the national average was around 10% during that same period. We also have a very low office vacancy rate in Covington. Ours is around 5%. The national average is close to 20%. So I think you all may remember when Business Flair was here, we worked with them on marketing the CCR site. They said Covington always punches above its weight class. Here's some data that proves that we do that. And if you want to look at it visually, the return on investment is pretty cool. If I could invest $1 and get an $11 return, I would take that anytime. So I think this is really a pretty excellent program, and certainly your all support for this has been part of what's made it successful. So what are some of the overall impacts that we want to cite to our residents and our business folks about the program? It has enhanced our streetscape. We do that through the facades and the electric sign program. So Covington looks better and feels better. The quality of place has been elevated. We've retained and attracted businesses and jobs through this program. And then finally, we support entrepreneurs. So if you're starting a business, we've pulled a number of businesses, startups that were, say, in Findlay Market, and they were looking for a bricks and mortar and couldn't find one. They found one in Covington. Empanadas Box is a great example of that. So again, supporting those entrepreneurs, getting them through, especially that first year, as they're trying to get their business going. So then what we said is, okay, so what's next? How do we take an amazing program and elevate it even further? So these are some of the things that we're looking at. We want to spend a little time with our small businesses and identify needs and opportunities maybe that we haven't done so far. They're on the front lines. We need to hear from them, learn from them. We've looked at some ideas around pop-up retail. There are all kinds of ideas around that, whether it's a night market, outdoor somewhere, or an indoor pop-up facility. We've also been working with Bree and the finance team to look at what a possible net profits tax incentive might look like. Would the amount of money the city gets from that be outweighed by the benefits of using something like that to help attract even more businesses? And business event sponsorships, making sure that we're very strategic in what business events we participate in, and making sure that we're reaching those target audiences through that. And finally, I think elevating our location assistance. We already do it. We have what we call a matchmaking meeting every month where we try to match up folks who are needing space with spaces available. But working with those co-working spaces and those entrepreneurial hubs so that when people are ready to move to a bricks and mortar location, we've got some ideas about where they might fit best in the community. So that wraps up my part of it. And I'm happy to answer any questions or deflect to Patrick or John back there.
Commissioner Downing.
I just want to say thank you very much for this presentation. This answered the questions that I was hoping to receive. I also want to say how proud you and your team should be at the results, because it's not just the financial incentives that have allowed these businesses to thrive in our community. It is the attention and the effort that your team puts into making sure that those businesses are successful. So thank you.
Thank you.
No other question? Go ahead, Commissioner Hack.
Second what Commissioner Downing said. I appreciate everything you guys do. So
Thank you. And
it's
thank
always
you
a
all
joy.
for your continued support of the program.
Absolutely.
Tom, when I'm out and about with my fellow mayors, it's been brought up to me more than once about this program and how Covington helps its small businesses and how they seek to replicate what the Economic Development Department team has done. So thank you. Appreciate the update.
Thank you. And thanks to everybody else who gives us a safe, clean, wonderful place to be able to promote. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. City Manager's report.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. Just one good news to share today that went out on our socials this afternoon. The City of Covington, yet again, for the fourth consecutive year, has earned a perfect score on the 2025 Municipal Equality Index. So we are evaluated on our laws, our ability as an employer, our services, our law enforcement, and leadership on LGBTQ and equity issues. And so yet again, we had a perfect score on all of those, and we were appreciative of that. Just wanted to say thank you to Dr. Bonnie Meyer, who assisted us in the application and the information that needed to be submitted, and also Chris Hartman, who is the Executive Director at the Kentucky Fairness Campaign, who also helped us. And of course, Tom West, who, as always, just pushes us in, in some of these directions. So just wanted to share that.
Thank you, Madam City Manager. Will the clerk please call the consent agenda?
In order accepting the recommendation of the CCR Public Art Committee for the installation of public art at Covington Central Riverfront. In order authorizing the mayor to execute a TIF redevelopment loan agreement with 608 Madison LLC, providing financial incentives for the property located at 608 Madison Avenue. In order authorizing the mayor to execute an entrepreneurship support grant agreement with Blue North Kentucky, Inc. In order approving the purchase of 123 sets of globe turnout gear from Vogelpol Fire Equipment. In order authorizing application for assistance, approving a memorandum of agreement with the Commonwealth of Kentucky of Emergency Management, and authorizing execution of necessary agreements regarding FEMA Public Assistance Program Grant DR 4864. In order authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with KZF for the Goble Park Master Plan. In order authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with Neighborhood Investment Partners, Inc., NIP, for the construction of 2 new single-family homes located at 304 Pleasant Street and 308 Pleasant Street in an amount not to exceed $741,836, payable from program year 2025 Home Affordable Housing Development Project Funds. In order authorizing the mayor to execute a disposition and development agreement with Neighborhood Investment Partners, Inc., NIP, for 304, 306, and 308 Pleasant Street. In order authorizing the mayor to sign a contract peace officer agreement with Wesley Cook. In order authorizing, excuse me, the mayor to sign a contract peace officer agreement with David Finan Jr. In order authorizing the mayor to sign a contract peace officer agreement with Robert Rose. In order appointing Paul Kaiser to the Linden Grove Board of Overseers for a 3-year term effective November 18th, 2025 and expiring November 17th, 2028. In order appointing Pamela Mullins to the Human Rights Commission for a 3-year term effective November 11th, 2025 and expiring November 10th, 2028. In order appointing Sean Masters to the Kenton County PVA Board of Assessment Appeals for a 4-year term effective May 31st, 2025 and expiring May 30th, 2029. In order appointing Amy Kumler to the Code Enforcement Hearing Board for a 3-year term effective November 18th, 2025 and expiring November 17th, 2028.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I'll entertain a motion to accept the consent agenda as read.
Make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Ackrey, second by Commissioner Downing. Do we have discussion? Seeing no discussion, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Regular, please.
In order authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with VS Engineering to engage as the City of Covington's technical liaison regarding impacts of the Brent Spence Bridge Corridor Project.
Elizabeth Wessel, Special Projects.
Yes, good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. I bring to you this request for an order authorizing mayor to sign this contract with VS Engineering for VS Engineering to take on the role as the City of Covington's technical liaison for issues related to the Brent Spence Bridge Corridor Project. As we're entering the construction phase in spring of 2026, a whole new set of issues is before us to work through with KYTC, and so we look forward to having this technical liaison with strength in things like maintenance of traffic issues and communication of those issues with us.
Any questions for the director? Commissioner Downing.
So I apologize. I'm just trying to absorb all of the information. The total cost of the agreement is
$230,000 over a 3-year period.
all right. So $230,000 over 3 years, and Sorry, I'm getting hung up on where it's talking about the overall budget. It talks about the overall budget establishing a $500,000 budget over 3 years for the performance of the work, an average of $100,000 a year. Can you help me clarify what that feels like?
Yes, that was the initial MOU that was set up with KYTC was for up to 5 years. We've gone through the first 2 years so far, and the remaining funds on that is $230,000. So the language there is a little confusing.
Okay, so that's basically accounting for the prior to. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. No further questions.
Any more questions for the director? Okay, thank you. Seeing no other questions, may I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Downing, second.
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Tebby. Any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Ackrey?
Aye.
Commissioner Downing?
Aye.
Commissioner Tebby?
Aye.
Mayor Washington?
Aye. Thank you. Motion passes. Thank you, Director.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Will the clerk please report?
An ordinance amending the Covington Neighborhood Development Code, Chapter 158 of the Covington Code of Ordinances to allow recovery residence as a permitted use within the TUR TUMU, RR, SR, SU, DTC, and AUC districts to remove sober living home and sober living facility from all sections and definitions, and to amend section 03.07.6 related to the micromanufacturing and section 07.21.9 related to exemptions.
May I have a motion?
Make that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Downing,
Second.
second by Commissioner Ackery. Any discussion? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Ackery?
Aye.
Commissioner Downing?
Aye.
Commissioner Tubby?
Aye.
Mayor Washington?
Aye. Motion passes. This is now law. Will the clerk please report?
An ordinance amending the city's 2025-2026 budget, reappropriating and reapportioning the anticipated general fund revenue and the anticipated revenue of all other funds of the city of Covington, Kentucky for the fiscal year beginning on July 1st, 2025 and ending June 30th, 2026 among the various departments and for the general and special purposes as indicated in the recommended all funds operating budget 2025-2026 to meet the expenses of the city of Covington, Kentucky for the said fiscal year.
May I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Ackery,
I'll second.
second by Commissioner Tebby. Any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Ackery?
Aye.
Commissioner Downing?
Aye.
Commissioner Tebby?
Aye.
Mayor Washington?
Aye. Motion carries. This now becomes law. Will the clerk please report?
An ordinance of the City of Covington, Kentucky, authorizing the issuance of its City of Covington, Kentucky General Obligation Refunding Bonds, Series 2025A, in the approximate aggregate principal amount of $29,395,000, which amount may be increased up to $2,940,000 or decreased by any amount, for the purpose of refunding at or in advance of maturity the city's financial obligations represented by the lease agreement dated June 4th, 2020, by and between the city and the Huntington Public Capital Corporation, the proceeds of which financed a portion of the costs of the economic development real estate parcel now known as the CCR site, approving the form of the bonds, authorizing designated officers of the city to execute and deliver the bonds, authorizing and directing the filing of a notice with the state local debt officer, providing for the payment and security of the bonds, establishing a bond payment fund for the bonds, affirming the maintenance of the existing sinking fund, authorizing the acceptance of the bid of the purchaser of the bonds, and repealing any inconsistent ordinances.
May I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion, Commissioner Ackery.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Downing. Any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Ackery?
Aye.
Commissioner Downing?
Aye.
Commissioner Tebby?
Aye.
Mayor Washington?
Aye. Motion carries. This now becomes law. The next order of business, commission discussion. Commissioner Tebby.
A few weeks ago, we hosted the forum for the CCA initiative in City Hall. We had a great turnout. There was a lot of residents and business owners that spoke in favor of it, including the Covington Business Council as well as the Chamber of Commerce, but we also had numerous residents and businesses speak out against it as well. I do think that we have some unanswered questions regarding that. A lot of it's be around the cost of the total program. So with that in mind, I'd like to introduce a motion for staff, and I'm specifically talking about the Covington Police Department, the Fire Department, if they have any concerns, as well as Public Works, to begin just evaluating any of the financial factors as well as safety factors to ensure that if this is implemented through an ordinance, that it is self-supporting and not sustained by our residents' tax dollars.
I have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second? Okay. Go ahead.
Due to potential conflict of interest, I'm going to recuse myself from this conversation. So,
Okay. I have a, right, thanks. I have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second? I second the motion. Discussion? Do we have discussion? Commissioner Downing?
So with the list of priorities that we have, I know that we're planning on looking at the priority list that we have in January. I'm a little bit concerned about prioritizing staff time for this initiative over the other initiatives that we already have on the docket. Because basically by putting this order out, we're saying, hey, we want this to be something that is done in a timely fashion relative to some of the other things that we have on that list. I think it is important for us to give staff that direction on the prioritization so that way we can make sure that staff is using their time appropriately for the good of the whole.
Commissioner Tebby?
And first off, thank you for expressing your concerns regarding that. One of the things I want to call out, so from my understanding, this was on our initial initiative list that we proposed back in May when we were looking through the budget. But in addition to that, some of the sense of urgency that I feel around this is in regards to the closure of the 4th Street Bridge and just looking at what we can do to help those businesses down in that area. I know this is a pilot program looking at the Madison Avenue. We've talked about kind of shrinking it down a little bit, just do some of the public comments for the pilot. So that's kind of the reason why I would bring it forward today.
I still think that,
Commissioner Downing?
I still think that we're creating an inconsistency for staff because, yes, I recognize that this is on the priority list, and I think that that is important. I think that as a body, we need to make sure that we are giving the direction because what's happening right here is instead of us saying, okay, staff, you have a list of 10 things that we need you to accomplish over the course of the next year, and this is the first one, we're now saying this one, wherever that is on the body's priority list, is now at the top. And so I think that as a body, we need to determine what rank order we want that list to be before we go forward with the efforts of saying we think that this specific one needs to go up to the top. Because I think that we need to have a full discussion about the whole list before we say that one needs to be prioritized.
Okay. My comments are basically this is it's been placed on a priority list. This does need to be evaluated at a later date to see if we're going to move forward with this. It was spoken at a previous meeting that the police were consulted on this matter. However, that was a mistake. The police had not been consulted on this matter. I think before I can make any judgment of how to move forward, I need to know what resources the police department, the fire department, and Public Works will need to pull this thing off. So that's my comments on the matter. So by rule, you only can do it twice.
Fair enough.
Okay. So with that, will the clerk please call the roll? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Downing?
No.
Commissioner Tebby?
Aye.
Mayor Washington?
Aye. Motion carries. Someone like to get the other commissioner? No, he does. He shouldn't have been. Okay, returning to the agenda, any more commissioner discussion items? Seeing no other discussion items, comments? I'm sorry, Commissioner Downing.
To the earlier point that I was making, do we have a January date scheduled for the priority discussion?
Madam City Manager.
We are aiming for January 24th, and we're working through the process of
And I'll wait for discussion comments.
You're in them. You're in them. You're good. You're good.
The other element that I was going to address earlier, which due to our ordinances, I could not elaborate further. I want to clarify, I am not opposed to this initiative. Where my opposition lies is in prioritizing staff time towards this initiative over the other initiatives before we have had the opportunity to have a conversation as a body about how we want to prioritize those initiatives. Just to clarify.
Thank you. And on that, Commissioner Downing brings up a good point. If you hear me talk in public, you'll hear me often say that, City Hall is understaffed, and City Hall is quite a bit understaffed. So we have senior staff that's working 40-plus hours without a doubt. What's going on? So his concerns are real. My concern is that we're going to need this information to move forward to see how much additional staff time it's going to take to possibly implement the CCA. But your concerns are real. So, Commissioner, any more Commissioner discussion items? No Commissioner discussion items. Commissioner comments? No comments. I have Commissioner Ackery.
I just wanted to comment on Tom Hall's presentation today. I have been in conversation with Tom as well as other commissioners, and we hear you, and we're working and trying to figure out a way to see what works best for our city. So, just so you know, we've heard you loud and clear.
Any other comments from the commissioners? I have one comment, and we had a tragic situation in the past last week where a person lost their life in a fire. Preliminary investigation shows that there was not a working smoke detector in the house. Our fire department did an outstanding job. It came to me from Homeland Security Director. He wanted to commend our fire department. As the mayor, I would like to remind everyone how important it is to have a smoke detector. Now, the investigation's not to the point where we know if the smoke detector would have prevented the death, but it's important to have a smoke detector. The city of Covington also makes smoke detectors available to residents. So I ask you, if you're interested in that, you may reach out to the fire department. We do have a limited number. We may run out. Last count, we had approximately 50 extra smoke detectors, and I'd like to see the cupboards bare when it comes to smoke detectors. We do have a line item in the budget to purchase smoke detectors. Our fire staff is exploring that and trying to get the word out a little bit more with our communications team as we try to get our head around that. So that's all I have to add. With that, can I have a motion for the commission to go into executive session pursuant to KRS 61.810, Section 1, subsection F as in Frank, for discussion that may lead to the appointment, dismissal, or discipline of an individual, employee, or member? We have a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Ackery.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Tevy. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed, motion carried. With all that, we will take a recess, go into executive session. Upon conclusion of the executive session, we will not be coming back into a regular session. Please have a good evening.
Send the police, phonetic alphabet, or